audience to follow to keep the meeting productive. Keep your mic on. Keep mic on mute unless you are delivering a session or ask a question. Keep your phone in silent mode during the meeting when you speak, so that it does not create any disturbance. Please prefix your name with the TM underscore if you are a Toastmaster, and as a guest underscore if you are a guest. As much as possible, keep your video on so that speaker gets a near live experience and gets motivated by your response. Please stay in a professional posture when you are on video. Kindly stay throughout the meeting and enjoy the Toastmaster experience. Do not exit abruptly from the meeting. Team has taken pains over the past week to conduct this meeting in a dignified manner. In case of urgent needs, mention about your exit politely and do so. Please keep the chat window always open in progress. Use it for your communications too. With this, I would like to introduce our presiding officer for today's meeting. He is a Toastmaster since 2009 and looking every opportunity to refine Saravanan. Let's go to Saravanan, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Venkat Pale. Good afternoon, Toastmasters as well as guests. How are you all doing?
Fine.
Great. I'm glad to welcome you all to the 687th meeting with the sound of the gavel. I declare the meeting open. So last week I was just going through the July Toastmasters newsletter. How many of you gone through that July Toastmasters newsletter? Our VP membership has sent that in our group as well. So in case if you get a chance, please go through that. Okay. So in that one particular thing I was so much impressed about. Our current acting international president in Toastmasters, that is Richard E. Peck. He mentioned that Toastmasters is not only about communication as well as leadership. It's also about meeting the people, enjoying the journey, as well as building the relationship and network. The impact that we create to others, as well as the others create that impact to us. That is what most matters as well. And he also talked about enduring friendships in Toastmasters clubs. So this is very much important. So we have to think about two things. One is communication, leadership skills. This is what we are predominantly joining Toastmasters for. But there is also one more option in networking. So please just look around, okay? And then you see who are all joining as well as the guest members and try to understand them. One of the important initiatives that Toastmaster Prasanna Vani, our secretary, has come up with to understand the birthdays of our members. Okay, so she has recently sent the survey of the members who are all participating as well as who can share their birthdays. Okay, so that is one initiative which we can use for building the relationship with the members as well. So when we wish somebody, that is something that gets reciprocated as well. So please provide your birthdays if you have not already done so. And in today's surprise session also, I just wanted to reveal one small secret in this surprise session. It is pretty much about knowing others. Okay, so if you think that you know all the members well, you think deeply about that, you might not know certain things. Okay, so that is what we will be seeing in this secret session. So people who are there in this meeting, just look around, who are all in this present in this meeting, just try to understand what is unique about them and think about that. That will help you in this secret session as well. There's a famous saying, there are no strangers in this world, only friends we have not yet met. So maybe we have to just meet some of our friends we have not yet met so far. So that is what we call it as guest introduction. So let us see, who are all the guests who have joined today? I can see Mahalakshmi, your guest. You are coming for the first time, yeah?
Yes, this is the first time.
Okay, welcome. Just can you introduce yourself and let us know what your expectations are?
Okay, my name is Mahalakshmi. I work in a MNC bank in Chennai, based in Chennai. And my expectations is I'm sort of an ambivert, introvert for most part, extrovert in deep relationships. So just want to improve on that a bit to get out of my reserved nature. That's more what I'm looking at.
Definitely. This is a great platform for coming out of your inhibitions and all. So please do come and participate in the meetings. And whenever possible, please ensure that you have an active participation here.
Sure. Thank you.
Then we have Janita.
Yes. Hi, Saranan.
Hi.
Hi. So it's been quite like a few weeks since I started attending the Toastmasters session. So I already know informed that like I want to explore more in terms of public speaking and the importance of the communication I learned from the previous sessions as well. So I want to explore those things also, Saranan. So that's my expectation. So I'm just trying to come as in person, like no soon I can make it, I guess. I'll join as a member very soon.
Excellent. We look forward for that. Thank you.
Sure, definitely. Yep.
And then in the in-person meeting, are there any guests?
Yes, this is Uma.
Hi, Uma.
Hi, Saranan. Actually, this is my second session as a guest. As I already told, just I want to improve my public speak in front of others. Now I'm working in some private company as in e-publishing industry. Now I move on to new role. So for that, everything I have to contact via email with client as well as mobile. So just I want to improve my communication level up so that I have joined.
Sure, definitely, Uma. This is a
Yes.
good platform for your communication, leadership skills, as well as networking skills as well. So please do come and do learn. And we also will learn quite a lot from you as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, fine. So let us see.
Yeah, good evening all. This is Dr. Sandhya. I'm a dentist by qualification and I'm a very passionate teacher. I've attended the same club twice online. I want to have an in-person experience. I feel the deep purpose is my words should really inspire the audience. So I want to upgrade my skill on communication and public speaking skills. So I'm looking forward to attend more Toastmasters. Thank you.
Definitely, Dr. Sandhya. Welcome. Anybody else in IIT Research Park?
Aravind is there.
Yeah.
One moment, please.
Sure.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarvind. This is my second meeting. In recent times, I was here last week. Very excited to be back again. From an expectation standpoint, I think today I heard a new dimension from Saravanan. So looking forward to meeting as many people as possible and making friendship is how I see it. Thank you.
Definitely, Mr. Arun. Well, yeah.
I'm Aditya. Currently pursuing BTech in Computer Science, Medley Institute of Technology, Chennai. My expectation is to improve my communication and public speaking skills.
Definitely. Welcome. Any other guests?
We have one more guest.
Yeah, sure.
Two more.
Hello, I am Aman Pratap Singh, and I am doing my PhD from IITM. in battery, redox flow batteries. And I'm mainly from Indore, and my expectations are I want to improve my presentation in skills and improve my communication skills. Thank you.
All the very best. Thank you for coming.
We have
And
one more.
today's, yeah, one more guest. Yeah, sure.
Hey, my name is Nipun. This is actually my second session. So I'm working in Questa, which is a 3D printing manufacturing solutions. And my expectations are to be able to communicate clearly and effectively.
Thank you. We have quite a few guests today, and I would say that be participative. And if you get a chance in TT speeches, please ensure that you participate at that as well. And please sit back and enjoy. And if you have any feedback at the end, please provide that. That will help us to improve our sessions as well. To take the meeting forward, we have a person called as Toastmaster of the Day, who manages the meeting as well as that person others to the agenda to ensure that we start on time as well as we end on time. Today's session will be driven by a passionate Toastmaster, and he's the Toastmaster for the past 20 plus years. He is versatile and have the ability to captivate the audience with his anecdotes. I'm sure the meeting number 687 would be an enjoyable session. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Sundaresh.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, President, for introducing me with those good words. Today, myself, Toastmaster of the Day, Sundaresan, playing the role with the theme, Emergency Services. Having worked for 20 years with the emergency response team, today I thought of sharing my points about the emergency responders, and I want to create an awareness in our Toastmasters circle. Even though I need 4 hours for my team, I know it's not possible in our Toastmasters meeting. I have squeezed this to minimum 10 minutes. Be with me, and if you need, you can ask a few questions at the end, or offline you can contact me. Safety. Safety is a culture. Once I met a safety guru who was burned from the front side in an oil accident. And he said in a very friendly way in the workshop that we normal humans feel always that the incident will happen to the person in the right or the person in the left and nothing will happen to me. That's our confidence level. Good. By God's grace, nothing should happen to anybody. But when the incident happens, are you ready to face it? That's the most important. There are emergency services to serve you, and there are emergency responders to help you immediately with one alert from your side. And who are all those people? They're all normal like us, but trained to face the emergency scenarios. For example, once I asked my friends, who is the hero and heroines? They all said film personalities. Then having worked with emergency responders in emergency services, I said, they are all entertainers. For me, the heroes and heroines are the people who are in different fields, but serving our society in the name of emergency responders. They are just great people who work with my favorite cap for 20 years, committed to saving lives and properties. I was in the support team. I'm not a fireman. I'm not a rescue person. I'm not a medic. I'm not a security person. I have extended my support services, computer services to that team. Being part of that team, I'm proud that for 20 years I have served for one emergency responders team. In different countries, the format may be different, but ultimately the motto is the same, committed to saving life and properties. Here, if you see, in Chennai city, for example, any emergency, if you call the fire service, the fire engine arrives. So the firefighters come with a special kit, and it's called the fire coat, with special fire helmet, with fire gloves, and they are the firefighters with equipments in their hands. We have to be safe, but if there is an incident, and here I have to say, every accident is an incident, but every incident is not an accident. But we have to be careful, we have to be safe. But if anything happens, let us face it with courage. Like firefighters come and they save us, and especially the rescue team, when they come and say, don't worry, we are here, we will take care of you. Those words are just words in our normal day. But for a person who is stuck in any problem, fighting for life, those words are golden words. Savior, we are here, we'll save you. Like a medic coming with the stretcher when you are stressed up to take you to the ambulance. So these need not be our day-to-day operations. I totally agree. But having worked with emergency responders, I thought of sharing these points, which will be helpful to you all. There are some engineers working in office. There are some doctors also in our Toastmasters group, and we all work in high-rise buildings. We are in residential area. There is an element of risk everywhere, which we have to be careful. We have to mitigate with that one. When the rescue team comes, help them. If you are in the residential area, help them, guide them, which is the scenario of that particular location. Like firefighting, I used to say, having one fire extinguisher in the building, which will save your life. In our flats in the community where I worked, they have given a flat with fire blanket in the kitchen. I was wondering, is it useful? But for one of my friends, when it was so helpful, saved his life, we all understood what is the importance of fire blanket. When the oil burns, in the cooking oil burns, immediately that blanket was covered with. You all might have come across that NDRF team in India, National Disaster Response Force. They are moved immediately wherever there is a flood. So emergency services is so important, and emergency responders are great people who are just humans like us, who are committed to save the lives and property. Next, let me share about the medic and the paramedic. During this COVID, we have seen how much importance the ambulance was, how much stress the ambulance drivers had, and the whole medic team they have gone through. This is even though it's their profession, they are the best emergency responders for us today. They are facing so many struggles, but they are there to help us always. Having said that, I cannot miss police and security also. For any incident, the first thing, the CCTV is taken care and the recordings are taken care. Having said all these things, you may think, what is the future? The technology has touched all the fields, emergency services also. Someday, the drones are going to help the emergency responders. Even today, flood hit area, or for the crowd control, or where the points where fire incident is there and human cannot reach, drones are used. And in future, there will be much usage of drones to save the lives and property. So as a TMOD, I have covered this theme, and let me introduce our Toastmasters meeting proceedings. Today we have the prepared speech session with 3 speakers, and with 3 evaluators. And then we do have table topics session. Then there is a surprise session also by President. Hope it's surprise. And he has mentioned as a secret session. That's good. I love secrets. And then the evaluation session. The evaluation session is conducted by a senior Toastmaster, DTM Thomas. Let me introduce DTM Thomas, the former district PR manager, 10 times division finalist across all 4 categories, district finalist twice, former communication director in Ashok Leyland Company. A thorough gentleman, a nice mentor. Now I invite DTM Thomas to play the role of general evaluator. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, CMOD, for your benevolent introduction. Benevolent is the word of the day. I deserve a round of applause. Thank you. So now, the second part, the evaluation after presentations are made, is something that I, along with my team, will handle. There are two teams handling this. Toastmasters consider meetings the most visible aspect of a club. Therefore, a lot of emphasis is placed on quality. The team that you're going to meet immediately, they are special X-rays they have. It's called a tag, and these are facilities you get nowhere else except in Toastmasters. For example, the first of the tag players is the timer. The timer's role today is being played by Toastmaster Dr. Prasannavani. She is an anesthetologist. Close to the correct one? Thank you. More than that, you will see as a member, she is a very energetic secretary of the club with ideas and the patience and the energy to implement them. The topic being what it was, I asked her for her go-to person. And she said her go-to person is her dad and a pillar of support. Over to you, Toastmaster Prasannavani, to explain your role as a timer.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Let me ask you a question. What is the most crucial element in any emergencies which determines the outcome? Time. Thank you. That was an easy question, right? How that you know my role as a timer. Time is important even in communication. That's why at Toastmasters, we have a dedicated timer who times all the speakers. For the prepared speeches, I will raise a green card when the speaker reaches 5 minutes, the yellow card when the speaker reaches the 6th minute, and the red card at the end of 7 minutes. The speaker will get 30-second grace time on either side. For table topic session, I request the guests to kindly pay attention since you may be called to speak up in these sessions. You have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. I will raise a green card at the 1st minute, the yellow card at 1.5 minutes, and the red card at 2 minutes. To be qualified for the best speaker category, you need to speak for a minimum of 1 minute. That is still a raise a green card and not beyond 30 seconds after the red card is raised. For the evaluation session, the time is 2 to 3 minutes. I will raise a green card at 2 minutes, the yellow card at 2.5 minutes, and the red card at 3 minutes. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. So that was a very interesting link up of her role, the timer's role, with the theme of the day. Very well done. And I'm sure you'll be timing all the role players. Time and quality. These are the two dimensions on which you evaluate a speech, which I hope to do today. So today, the measuring rod for time, you've seen who is handling that. Now, the other aspects of quality. The second person I want to introduce from this team is Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram, an active member who for 2 years ran the Star of the Month, the most difficult painstaking award system. He is a software engineer in Createx Private Limited. He has been associated with Medley for the last 2 years. His go-to person is recently married. He's yet to decide who the go-to person is. Over to you. Over to you, Toastmaster Mohan.
The purpose of the counter is to note the words and sounds that are used as a crutch or a pass filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for the overused words, including and, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for the filler sounds such as whom, and I will also note that when the speaker repeats the words or phrase such as I, this means, etc. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, and over to the general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mohan, for that crisp introduction to your role. The third of the tag players today is another energetic and new member, is Toastmaster Prasanna Venkatesh. He's a software developer and he's learning new technologies in IT. Internship over, he's yearning for a job. He's on the lookout for one. And his other objective is to improve his communication and leadership skills. That explains why he's here after all. His go-to person is his elder sister Nivedita. Any problem? What are elder sisters for? Over to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a grammarian, I'll pay close attention to all the speakers listening to their language usage. I'll note down any misuses of English language, as well as any outstanding words, phrases, quotes, thoughts. As a grammarian, it's also my responsibility to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word of the day is benevolent, which means kind and generous. For example, Ratan Tata is a benevolent person that he donated 500 crores to fight COVID-19. I request all the speakers to use the word of the day at least once. I'll give the word of the day report and grammatical usage report at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much. So that is a tag team. Then there is another set of evaluators who will appear when they are required to be brought in. They will be evaluating the individual speeches based on the manuals that set the tone for each of the speeches. So then here is my signing off and passing the baton back to the TMOD before hoping along with all of you that we have the maximum variety and quality in content. And as for time, with the help of the timer at 5 o'clock, we will have the promised samosas. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Let's move to the interesting prepared speech session. We do have 3 speakers today. First speaker, Toastmaster Atishay. Before that, I request Toastmaster Raghunath Mishra to read the speech objectives for the speech to be delivered by Toastmaster Atishay. Over to you, Raghunath Mishra.
Thank you, Tim Modi. Good afternoon, all. My target speaker, Toastmaster Atishay, is going to deliver his first level project in level 4 of dynamic leadership. And the purpose of this project is to practice developing change management plan. And during the speech, he is expected to share some aspects of the change management. Timer, please note the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, TM Modi.
Thank you, first evaluator, Toastmaster Raghunath Mishra. Let's move to first speaker, Toastmaster Atishay. Speech title, Conversation. Conversation, Toastmaster Atishay. Toastmaster Atishay, please check your audio, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I sat there with my email inbox open, delighted, but also a little anxious at the same time. I knew I was clear on what I wanted, but I wasn't sure if my family was ready to handle the change. A very good evening, Toastmaster of the day. This was back in May 2016, immediately after my 10+2, when I was in the process of deciding what university to join. Now, these 4 years of university, the 4 exciting, fun-filled years as an independent undergrad, I had my plans sorted out. I had just received an email from Shiv Nadar University in Delhi, reminding me that the last date to accept my offer to join was only 1 week away. After several days of research, talking to relatives, friends, teachers, neighbors, and that distant uncle who you haven't talked to in 12 years, but who is in the USA, I had come down to deciding between 2 places. Shiv Nadar University in Delhi or the Dayal Bak Education Institution in Agra. Now, Agra is my hometown, and that was the only thing going for DEI Whereas on the other hand, SNU had great faculty, the campus, the extracurriculars, placement records, all of it exactly how you would want it to be. Which is why it was fairly obvious to me that I will be joining SNU. But life is rarely ever that simple, isn't it? Now, some context. Ever since my childhood, I've lived in a joint family environment, sharing the home with my grandparents and uncles. And I've been fortunate enough to have extremely protective parents and grandparents. However, when you're 18, you don't really want the protection. There's this little desire within you that wants to break free, to go out in the world, to explore on your own. And in this case, this desire would be fulfilled by moving outside of my hometown, going to Delhi and studying at Shivnata University. However, I knew this would be a significant change to my lifestyle and would also affect my family, who was so used to having me at home for the last 18 years. Before applying to SNU, I had brought this up with my parents. And while they did not completely disapprove of me going there, my grandmother wasn't fully on board with the decision. She wanted me to stay at home and complete my graduation from DEI. Now that I had received an offer from SNU, it was time to move forward with the joining formalities. But before that, I needed to communicate this to my parents and my grandparents, because this was a huge change to all of our lives. I built a 3-step communication plan. Step 1 was the easiest: inform my parents about this change, because I knew they would be happy about it and are unlikely to bring any resistance. I went to them in person, spoke with them after dinner, and told them about the offer and the fact that I was planning to join. They were more than happy to agree. They were more than happy to proceed with the joining formalities. Step 2 was communicating this to my grandparents. Now, this is where I expected some resistance from them because of the fact that my grandma was, both my grandfather and grandmother, but especially my grandma, was too attached to me. I went to her and began by saying that I received an offer from a good university and that I wanted to go there. There was a tiny bit of nervousness still inside me. Now, my Dadi and Dadaji are the kind of grandparents who appear to be super strict, tough as a coconut shell on the outside, tender as the coconut whites on the inside. There were times, in fact, when I was a child and I came home a little late at night after meeting my friends, and my grandmother would refuse to go to sleep because I wasn't home. There were times when I would catch a little cold and there would be a bitter neem ginger paste ready next morning being forced upon me before breakfast. Strict? Yes. Overprotective? Maybe. But this was their love. Now, coming back to communicating this decision to them, I walked into their room. My grandmother and grandfather were both sitting there. Dadaji, I received an offer from a university I had applied to. Computer science engineering, great faculty, great placement records. Their eyes lit up. Congratulations. Where is the university? The moment of truth. This is in Delhi. There was an awkward silence for a few moments. This was the question I had been dreading, and I knew I had to tell them anyway, maybe later, if not now. I stood there waiting for their reaction. Don't worry, beta. You have our blessings. Make progress, do well in life. Easy. Easier than I had thought. They were happy with the decision and they gave consent. They stood behind me when I was making this decision. The last step was just communicating this to my friends, who, being in the same boat as I was, were fairly open to the idea of moving out of town, given that they were also looking for colleges and making similar decisions at home. I communicated with them over WhatsApp, and then eventually, as the date to leave Agra came closer, we met and we chatted and caught up on everything. I ended up completing admission formalities the very same week, with everyone in my family and friends on board with the idea and wishing the best for me. Now, 5 years later, looking back, This event shows how crucial it is to communicate openly, even if it is on a non-formal basis, even if it is with people you speak to every day. And even if you think, oh, this isn't my boss, I don't need to be so formal with communication. Because now, I cannot imagine how it would have broken my grandma's heart had I just decided to go ahead and apply to the university and one day came in and told her that, Grandma, I'm leaving tomorrow, without even considering to take her permission after everything she had been doing for me for the last 18 years. Any change, personal or professional, must be delicately handled, communicated deliberately, and executed taking all stakeholders, direct and indirect, into account. A communication plan and a structured approach on what you want to do, how you want to make sure everyone is on board with the plan, or at least understands the implications of the change that's about to take place, is super crucial. Would you agree, Toastmaster of the Day?
Thank you, Toastmaster. Let's move to the second speaker, Toastmaster Shankar. Before that, I'm going to request Toastmaster Raghunath Nair, our second evaluator, to read the speech objectives. Raghunath Nair, please.
Good afternoon, everyone, and Shankar in particular. Today, Shankar is going to do a speech which has the purpose of the project to introduce his skills needed to organize and present a podcast. So he was supposed to do his own research to create a podcast, which was supposed to be recorded for 6 minutes, 60 minutes of content. And each episode, one of the episodes of at least 10 minutes need to be explained. And this introduce that particular segment in a 2 to 3 minute speech. All the best, Toastmaster Shankar. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, second evaluator. Timer, please note the total time is 13 minutes. Timer, please confirm. Yeah, you can show hand. Thank you. Yeah. Let's move to Toastmaster Shankar. Its speech title, Everything Has a Reason. With speech title, Everything Has a Reason, Toastmaster Shankar. Please check your audio, Toastmaster Shankar.
Hello. This is just hello.
It's echoing, Shankar. Please try again.
Is it echoing now?
No.
No. Could you please check audio? 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
It's clear. Go ahead, Toastmaster Shankar.
Okay.
If you asked me 2 years ago that I would be delivering a speech in front of a distinguished audience like you, I would have laughed at you. Fellow Toastmaster and honorable guests, good afternoon. Good afternoon. There are many reasons where I chose and joined in Toastmasters, but there is only one reason where it is primary importance that to listen the life story of each Toastmaster, especially from fellow Toastmasters, because that story are real, true, because it reflects the behavior, character, and uniqueness, especially with the pain and transformations. In addition, Toastmasters give a lot of varieties of faces to me, and I never expect anything happen to my life. Name a few below that. One is that where I had shared I have shared my own story, why I have quit my cricket story. On the other side, I was not very jovial guy. However, I have attempted and tried my humorous contest speech and won a second runner. So today, I'm going to share with you my story through podcast. Again, it's not my cup of cake, but I would like to share with you. And this is the speech where I never shared with anyone. Again, the Toastmasters is giving a platform to share with others. Please bear a minute. I'll share with you my podcast. Sundaresan, please let me know whether audio is clear.
Dear Toastmasters, I'm not the same Shankar you see me some years ago. People say that transformation happens to everyone's life through a person incident.
It has reduced, Shankar. Volume has reduced suddenly. It started well.
Or on event. For me, it's a different experience. To recap about myself, my family was belong to below poverty level, where my parents strongly believed that education is meant only for rich people. Dear Toastmasters, I'm not the same Shankar.
If there is a second device nearby, please avoid it. In case if there is a second device.
Yeah, we have mute the other device.
Why did it go to chat? Huh? I play outside. Yeah, you have been. Yeah, wait.
You see me some years.
Shankar, do you want me to share?
Years ago. People say that transformation happens to everyone's life through a person, incident, or an event. For me, Dear Toastmasters, I'm not the same Shankar you see me some years ago.
Sundaresan, I hope it is clear.
People say that transformation happens to everyone's life through a person, incident, or an event. For me, it's a different experience. To recap about myself, my family was belonged to below poverty level, where my parents strongly believed that education is meant only for rich people and it does not raise the standard of life. Rather, it is merely a wasting of money and time. My relatives were in concur with my family conviction. My parents' attitude at the time was if they put me in the mechanic shop, I would contribute financially to them as we have 5 members in my family. But I do not blame my parents because they did not have any exposure of the outside world and very importantly the significance of education. Somehow, I completed 10th with first class and I was a school topper in the 12th standard. That ensured me to get an admission in one of the prestigious colleges in Chennai, that is Vivekananda College, where there were no fees for 3 years. That made my parents allowed me to pursue undergraduation. On the other side, I was the man of complaint. I always complained about things that were happening around me. I was scolding my parents always because they had put me in the Tamil medium for schooling. That's why I could not speak English fluently and unable to network with others. Secondly, very importantly, I was living in one of the underdeveloped areas in Chennai, that is Ayanavaram, where the locality contribute most of the laborer to the other place. Since there was no guide or mentor, I did not have any idea to connect with outside world. In the meanwhile, I got a first class in BCom and worked for few companies over the period of 10 years. But in 2018, when I was working in a bank, I went to London for process migration. I was shattered by my communication skill with British people. I did not speak with anyone when I came back to India due to my inferiority complex. While I was wandering most of the time, one fine Sunday I saw the small advertisement in the newspaper that portrayed, do you want to improve your communication? I was little ambiguous to see the advertisement, but at the same time, I did not know that I'm going to meet the person who will change my perception and life. I called her and we both met in coffee day. Her name is Michelle Nishreen. She is a communication teacher. I was narrating my life story to Michelle and shared a metaphor to gain a sympathy of my life story. I said that, Michelle, our education system is like running a race where all animals like tortoise, cheetah, monkey, and fishes are expected to run the 100-kilometer race on the land. Will it be possible for fish to run on land or tortoise to beat cheetah in the race? Similarly, in the Indian education system, where local medium students need to compete with matriculation students, CBSE student, and ICSE student, how can a Tamil medium student can compete with them? She was listening my story meticulously. After a pause, she asked me, Shankar, which president of India do you like the most? I was baffled. Why did she ask this question at the time? However, I told Abdul Kalam. She asked me, why did you like Abdul Kalam? I did not expect the question from her. After a moment, I told her, he is a scientist. She said, okay. It seems she was not convinced with my answer. Then I told, he is a missile man of India. She said, fine. Then I told, he was part of ISRO group. She was miffed and did not buy any my responses. I was little annoyed. Then she told me that Shankar, yes, he's a scientist, Missile Man of India, and people president. But do you know why he is a distinguished president? I was voiceless. Then she revealed me that because he was coming from humble background where education was far away for his family. Of course, he also studied in Tamil medium, that too in government school, and his family belonged to a below poverty group. She asked me again, Shankar, why did not you say any other president? I was silent. She told me, look, Shankar, maybe rest of the presidents may have a great education and good financial background. There is no pride if a person succeed in the field with good amount of education, financial background, and other amenities. But if the person is arising from the lower group, they are the ultimate winner of the nation. People call them as real hero. This could be one of the main reasons that people admire Abdul Kalam. She further added that Kalam never complained with himself. Do you think Kalam did not have any failure? Grumbling about speaking in Tamil or complain about his family? In fact, Shankar, he had lot of failure than everyone else in the world, but he never complained in the past. Rather, he used all the obstacle to his stepstone to success. I was dumbstruck when she talked about this point. I never received this kind of dimension about Kalam. She also talked about my area, that is Ainabaram, and asked me, Shankar, do you know which color of helium balloon will fly in the air? Is it a red alone or white? I was nodding. It's not something about outside Shankar, it's about what is inside that matters. Tell me, how long would you complaining about yourself? Maybe next 5 years, 10 years, or lifetime? I was stunned. In fact, she had portrayed differently the running race metaphor I had quoted. Shankar, all animals have their own characteristics and uniqueness. Some animals may not be good at race, but they are excel in other aspects. They need to find out and work on their strength rather than focusing on their weakness. That was mind-blowing explanation from her. It unlocked many gates in my mind. No one has explained the dimension of life, and that day I gained a great lessons from her. Thereafter, I started focusing on my strength, that is education. I completed one of the toughest professional degrees from finance in India and obtained international degree from London. And very importantly, I registered for a Toastmasters. My thought process and perceptions of the world are completely changed thereafter. Dear Toastmasters, everything has a reason. Past is a past. Do not look at what happened in your past, and you cannot change the past. But think about the present and work towards the bright future. Thank you. Over to you, TM Modi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move to the third speaker now, Toastmaster Dinakaran. Before that, I request Toastmaster Evaluator, Madam Toastmaster Pravda, to read the speech objectives. Madam Toastmaster Pravda, please.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and my dear friends. My target speaker, Toastmaster Dinakaran, is giving his Level 3 Project 1 in negotiating an outcome. The purpose of this project is to learn different types of negotiation and the strategies that are used during negotiation. he would be sharing few aspects of his past or future negotiation in life for about 5 to 7 minutes. All the very best, Toastmaster Dinakaran. Over to Timur.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Pravda, the third evaluator. Now, let me invite the third speaker, Toastmaster Dinakaran, with speech title, The Big Negotiator. The Big Negotiator, Toastmaster Dinakaran, please.
Thank you, dear Modi. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good afternoon. So, how many of you have done some negotiation by the time you got up today, and then by the time like you have come here? Any of you have done some negotiation? Yeah. So, what it would be like? Yeah, Toastmaster Prasanna. Okay. Yeah. So, to me, yeah, yes, sir. What is it?
I had to negotiate for 10 minutes between all the vehicles that were competing with me.
That was good. Yeah. So we all, to me, negotiation is part and parcel of life. We do the negotiation from the time we get up from the bed, like by the time the alarm clock rings, right? So you negotiate within your inner self that you want to get up now, or you want to take 10 more minutes, and you get up from the bed, then you negotiate within you again your inner self. What do you want to do? You want to go for a jog, or you want to start with your office work, or you want to have some coffee. So negotiation is part and parcel of our life. I'll give you an example. Like my son has just completed +2 recently, and then like he has this habit of like studying very late in the night. So some of the time, like I will go and tell him that it's not very good to stay very late in the night, and then you go to bed and then get up early, and then that would help you in many ways. But every time he would say that, yeah, I will do that, I will do that, but he never does that. So some of the times, like I will get into some heated conversation, and then like my BP would shoot up, and so a large occasions would happen. And at one point, I decided, okay, we should walk away from this. He has this habit, and he wants to do it in such a specific manner. Maybe it is good for him. That is the way he likes. So I just walked away from this negotiation, and then it was actually like helpful for me and for him also. So walking away from negotiation is one of the negotiation stage that you could follow. And recently, I got a request from one of my relatives that he wanted some money. So I just went to my wife and then asked that like, there is a request. So like as usual, like it's very difficult for me to go back and tell somebody that no, I cannot help or I cannot do it. So I have this habit. My wife knows that, and see like all the time she complains about me. But again, I talked to her. She said that you also gave it to your friend, but you didn't get it back. So what do you want to do? It's your call. Okay, then I got into some compromise with my wife and told her that okay, I'll get the money from my friend and give it to this person. And then I like to me like I called up my friend, and fortunately I got the money back. And as per the compromise that I had with my wife, and gave the money back to my relative. So compromise is another negotiation style. Coming back to win and lose, right? The corporate world, like you will have this some experience where your colleague or peer like we get into some bullying with you, right? Because like they are like, kind of uncomfortable about you, what you do, or they are having some like fear about that you are a competitor for the other person, and they would be trying to do something. So I have got into this situation. I have understood that this is one of the stage where it is a win or lose. So I didn't react to any of those, whatever that other person was doing. I chose to respond to it. I just stayed calm, and then I was not getting back any other response to him. And at one point, he has understood that okay, it is a teamwork. We have to work collaboratively. It's going to help the overall team. So I have stayed back, and then I have taken the decision that we should not react, and then it helped me to the negotiation and then come out like win and lose situation. Another one is that win-win situation, right? So we all have this aspect of like building habits in our life. There are some habits just like a cornerstone habits, which is like the base for all your habits, which would help you to form the other habits, and then you can improve upon your life. To me, like I was negotiating myself and what could be the habit for me, which would help me to accelerate or change and then improve my life. So finally, I decided that sleeping early in the night, like at least you go to bed by 11 o'clock, and then getting up at least 5 o'clock in the morning, it's going to help me a lot. It would actually like, it would first give me some time to take up some exercise and then plan my day. And also going to bed early would help me to energize myself in the right way. So I have negotiated with my inner self and build this cornerstone habit, which is actually ending up in a situation where like I'm in the win-win scenario. So dear friends and Toastmasters, negotiation is part and parcel of life, whether it is personal or finance or professional. This is going to be your part and parcel, and then you have to choose and then think and decide considering all the parameters and situations that what is that you are going to do, and then become a big negotiator of your life. Over to TM Modi. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. We have completed the prepared speech session. Being the topic is emergency services, just I'd like to request you all, please keep the emergency contact numbers at your home and at your workplace also, which will be helpful to anyone in the time of crisis. Police 100, fire control 101, traffic police 103, Chennai child helpline 1098, women helpline 1091. I take this opportunity to thank our greater Chennai traffic police who are serving us with the motto, your safety is our priority. The next session is table topic session. To conduct this, we do have a young man, Toastmaster, who is there. Toastmaster Dharan, who is playing the role of an emergency responder, audio emergency responder at that hall, IIT Research Park. Over to you, Toastmaster Dharan.
Thank you, TM. Hello, Toastmasters and guests. Very good afternoon. My name is Dharan. I'm going to be the table topic master of today's session. Table topics enables a member to develop the skills of impromptu speaking. Table topics trains member to quickly organize and express their thoughts. Each speaker is required to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Participants are disqualified at 2 minutes 30 seconds. With that, let me invite the first TD speaker, Toastmaster Uday Kumar from the Zoom. Am I audible? Toastmaster Uday Kumar.
Yes, Taran. Yes, Taran. I'm sorry, I was changing my headset. Yeah.
So your topic is how to survive a car hanging off a cliff. Toastmaster Uday Kumar. On to you.
So thank you, Taran. Even I couldn't just imagine such a situation because I have seen in some of the movies. In fact, you all remember that, Fast Furious and all those movies. But in fact, what I would do is something that really unimaginable, that because we will definitely be terror struck. Probably we'll slowly just shift ourselves to the back, seat, and then try to open the door, and then we'll just try to escape, or else we can just call the emergency number, anyone of the emergency number which is suitable, then we can just probably seek their help to get rid of that place. So that would be the most suitable, thing that we can do. So thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Toastmaster Uday Kumar. Sorry. Yeah, speakers, table topic speaker, please pin the timers when you start to give your table topic speeches. If you are going to deliver from the Zoom, thank you. The next speaker is going to be guest Janita from Zoom. Guest Janita.
Yes, yeah. I'm here.
So your topic is how to survive a fall through ice. How to
So,
survive a fall
yes.
through ice. Yes, Janita.
Yes. Thanks for the wonderful picture, first of all. So, very good afternoon, everyone, every Toastmasters here. So, how to survive a fall through ice? It's this image looks little scary. So, whenever you ask me, like, if I went to this such situation, prevention is always better than cure. No, I try to avoid such kind of situations in life. If I get into that, definitely I call call someone for an immediate help, like, or else like I can call like someone around there for an immediate help. So that's the thing first I'll do. The next thing, so how can I uh, self self safe, like no, in that way, like I'll try to do some emergency things. So that's the way I try to survive, when I fall through the ice. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Janita. Next, I would like to call guest Sandhya Arun Kumar. So your topic is how to survive a wolf attack.
Well, what happened was one day when I was walking through the forest with my friend, he slept off in the middle. So as he slept off, I had to wait till he wake up. So I took my responsibility to take care of my friend. And suddenly when I saw some foot moving and turned around, I saw a beautiful wolf there. I was so amazed with the beauty of the wolf because I'm seeing it visually for the first time. So I was admiring the beauty of the wolf. I quickly woke up my friend. I didn't want him to miss out the sight. So I said, get up, see the beautiful wolf there. We might not get an opportunity now. So he woke up. We saw the wolf beautifully and we took our cameras as usual to put it on the Facebook. We took nice pictures, maybe sight to the wolf. So wolf and me, wolf and him, we took great pictures. And what did we do? Ready, 1, 2, 3, set, go. We ran away from the wolf. Thank you.
Next, I would like to call Toastmaster Venkateshwar Palli. Your topic is how to survive amateur.
Oh, avalanche. Thank you, Master. Yeah, as such, I never went to such places so far. But as I watching TVs and movies, so normally what we should do, only you have to run away without looking back, and make sure that we are again not jumping to the down the hill, and we need to make sure that just without looking back, we have to run fast as much as possible. And if something is there to hold it, where you can take breathe and again plan which direction you have to go. Maybe that will give some idea and what direction, because sometimes when we run to looking back, whether it's coming far backward or it's coming from other directions. So we have to be careful while running it, and you have to save ourselves somehow from the avalanche. Thank you.
Next, I would like to call Periyasamy, Toastmaster Periyasamy from Zoom. Toastmaster Periyasamy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Table Topic Master.
Perfect. Right. Your topic is how to survive a fast river current.
Yeah, thank you, Table Topic Master, for this wonderful topic. I have come from the village background. Actually, I know swimming very well, which I have learned at the age of, at the age of 9, 10 almost. Okay, so I used to swim in the river when I have the holidays during my school days. We used to, along with my school friends, we used to go to the rivers and the well areas. We used to swim over there. Even sometimes during the rainy seasons, when the river floods heavily, we used to have the wood kind of the things. Then we will put it on the river, and we will along with the water, we'll go with the wood. We'll sit on the wood. The water flows. No, we'll go along with the water flows. Then we'll go along with the thing. Then sometimes when the rivers goes, sometimes it's a heavy. No, it's very difficult to manage. At the time, simply we have to catch some wood or something. We have to come out of the water and we have to save ourselves. If somebody doesn't know the swimming, please don't go those sites. It will be a very, very challenging time. to survive in that. So I would say that a humble request to all of us. It's like what our theme of the day is the emergency services. So for the emergency, I request everyone to learn swimming. So swimming is the better one. We may not know that, like when we are going to get the emergency. So it's like as our TMOD has told that our left side person and right side person will have the emergency. We may think that we will not get emergency, but we may not know that when we will get the emergency. I request everyone to learn the swimming. That's it, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much for the night.
Thank you, Parisan. Next, I would like to call guest Aravindan. So your topic is how to survive as a last person on Earth.
Okay, very interesting topic. Thanks for offering that. How to survive as a last person. I look at it a little differently from my perspective. That from a leadership role, when there was a crisis, and you made sure that everybody else passed off the crisis. You helped everyone else to pass off the crisis, and then you are the last man standing there, and you have a sigh of relief and say that, hey, I was able to help so many of them to go off that, and I'm the last person. Now I would follow the path of what others had done. So from that sense, I would be leaving that here with all satisfaction. Thank you.
Next, I would like to call guest Mahalashmi from Zoom.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, ma'am. So you have the same topic as well: how to survive as a last person on the earth in a different perspective.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak here, and greetings to everyone. Seems like a very interesting topic. I've never thought about it. I think if I were the last person on earth, quite likely that I would be assuming that my end is also not too far off. So I would rather enjoy the time, enjoy the nature with whatever is left, and take each moment at a time, rather than get bogged down about the fact that I am perhaps the last person on earth. I think that may also make me appreciate life far better than I would have done all my life, because it's a ticking bomb. Yeah, that's probably where I would look at. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Next, I would like to call guest Mukund Krishna. So your question is how to survive in the modern world without mobile and computer.
Actually, in the modern world, it's very difficult to survive without computers, because our lives are dependent on these technologies. But if there is a scenario where if I have to survive without mobile phones and computers, I'd say probably I'll spend some time in forest where I can meet some animals, because I love animals.
Thank you all, and that's the end of the session. Over to you, TMO.
Thank you, table topic master. all the survival traits. The thumb rule here is when we should not panic during any crisis. It helps. The panic attack actually spoils us and spoils the environment also. So let's remember the thumb rule, don't panic. In this context, I like to say it's our moral responsibility to inculcate all the safety habits to our next generation. Let's inculcate all the good habits of safety to the next generation. The next session is evaluation session. We do have a seasoned Toastmaster to conduct this. Now I invite DTM Thomas to conduct the general evaluation session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I look at the clock and realize that we are running a bit late. Not a bit, quite a bit late. So we will try and make up. So we now go on to evaluations. As I promised, there are 3 evaluators who will look at the project context and give their evaluation. The purpose are 2. One is to help them improve. The second is to motivate them. So we don't have to tell the truth and make people drive away. That's done by by Toastmasters with the kind of experience they have. First of them, to evaluate Toastmaster Atishay's speech, we have Toastmaster Raghunath Mishra. He's been with us for the last 3 years. He has been with Flex for the last 16 years. He's a director with them, and he's thankful to Medley and Toastmasters for helping him reach there. I have his authority to say this to you. As for his go-to person, it's in an emergency, it's his wife and his elder brother. Over to you, Toastmaster Mishra.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good afternoon. And I request you all to give a big round of applause to our speaker, Atishay Jain, for his excellent speech. Change management is a topic which is widely used as a skill development program in almost every organization. And when this topic is blended with a personal story, you can imagine how impact it would be on the audience. And this is what exactly done by our speaker, Toastmaster Atishay Jain. His decision to select the school, select the University Shivnadar for his graduation course and comparing it with the Ahluwalia from his own hometown, Agra, and how he convinced his parents, his grandparents, and his friends. The way he narrated the story through the story was really excellent. I never felt like the change management topic that is, initial impression was it is a professional topic, but the way he narrated this by blending it with his personal experience was actually mesmerized me to glue into the screen for 5 minutes or throughout the speech. And at the end, he also delivered one of the project purpose, that is to the aspects of not considering the stakeholders when we are going for a change management. That's what he explained. Like when he was not considering, at the end of the speech, he mentioned how he's convinced how it was affecting when he got the permission from his parents, grandparents, as well as friends. That covered one aspect of the project. On the other hand, the improvement area. Okay, there is another thing that I also liked about the speech is the voice quality of Atishay Jain. It was really, and the expressiveness, the way he was expressing in in synchronizing it with the voice quality was really impressive. But as an improvement area, one of the project objective was to practice how he practiced management. That I didn't see. Have been done it or explain us how he prepared the plans, assuming that his parents or grandparents wouldn't have convinced about the project, about his selection or moving to Delhi. He would have explained those backup plans that would have helped me in understanding the first objective of the project. Maybe in next speech, I would like to hear more such speeches from you. Thanks, Satisha, for this wonderful speech. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Raghunath Mishra. Now we will have Toastmaster Raghunath Nair assessing, evaluating the podcast delivered by Toastmaster Shankar. As many of you know, Toastmaster Raghunath Nair is a past president. He heads the exports and South Asia operations of Nissan, and he is a proud father of, his own words, 2 beautiful girls. He misses his dad, who has been his go-to person. Over to you, Toastmaster Raghunath.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster DTM Thomas, for that introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. The podcast is something which is entirely new and it is happening for last 2-3 months. And it's one of the key things any marketeer or a thing does recently. And that is one of the best way to communicate what you think you can and what anything about one idea or about yourself. Now, let me get back to Toastmaster Shankar's speech on thing. The purpose of the speech are 2. One, a member to be introduced, the skills needed to introduce or to organize and present this podcast, and the member to introduce his or her podcast to present a segment of that bigger podcast of 60 minutes something. So what are the positives which I felt in it? When you, as a speech or any speech, when you mention saying that if I was asked a few years back to stand in front of an audience and start speaking, he would have laughed. And from that particular position to where he did a very thorough speech was really excellent. And the podcast, as such, the 8 minutes or 8 to 9 minutes podcast was really a great, inspirational speech from where, as a benevolent, which shows benevolence, from where he came, how his life has transitioned, and what all like his mentor or that person to go to, where he went and spoke, and where he realized, and then he moved in and learned a lot. A great podcast, and it was very well delivered. The vocabulary, the diction, the speed of the speech, or the speed of the podcast has been excellent. Because one of the key things, as we may always have, we speak a lot more faster, and that is controlled, and it's a very controlled delivery in the podcast. Now, let me come to the second aspect, or the first aspect of the purpose of the statement. Introduce the skills needed to organize and present a podcast. And that is where I felt the speech was lacking, or the project was lacking, because the introduction was really exemplary. Then it went for a sudden stop, and then he started introducing the podcast. And one of the key things what as a Toastmaster we do is preparation and preparation and preparation. And that is where I felt that any Toastmasters as such, including Shankar, could look into. It could even happen to me, how you deal with technology. So if it was checked before whether that particular podcast, or it need not be his podcast, or something that how he was sharing, that was looked into as a preparation, it would have, that whole transition would have been smooth. We would have enjoyed that particular podcast, and a closing address of what all he has learned in developing that particular podcast, would have completed that particular speech and met all that tick marks. But overall, I really appreciate Toastmaster Shankar's effort in handling the podcast and doing a 9-minute podcast session. A very inspirational story, and it touched every one of us, including me. And an exemplary deliver. Excellent job. Looking forward to hearing a lot more other projects from you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nair. Last of the evaluations, I must now say that Medley is in safe hands. This hall, there are 3 doctors. How can things be any better? And one of them is Dr. Pravda, who teaches oral medicine and radiology at Satyabama Dental College and Hospital. She also practices dentistry. She enjoys being a Toastmaster to strengthen her interpersonal skills. And in emergencies, she rushes to her husband, Mr. Prabhakar. Good reasons, legally strong, socially wise. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Modi. Very good afternoon once again. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Dinakaran for his successfully completing his level 3 project 1 on negotiating an outcome. So he had a very good start. He started with a question to the audience asking was there any negotiation from morning to till this afternoon, and you will not know that majority of them raise their hands. So we all know that negotiation happens as a part of our life every day. So we all know that successful negotiation occurs when it is beneficial to the people who are involved in the negotiation. He related several aspects of his life, past life, and shared how different types of negotiation was used in different aspects of his life. Though his negotiation with his son was like walk away, he told that it was beneficial to both him and his son. And he also related several incidents with his relatives' wife, where he has analyzed the different types of negotiation, like win and win and win and lose in his past life. He finally concluded that negotiation is a part and parcel of everybody's life, and it is in our hand and mind how we take up and end it. So I do agree with you, Toastmasters Dinakaran, that successful negotiation should avoid conflict and establish relationship and bring mutual benefit to the people who are involved. So to sum up, Toastmaster Dinakaran, you had prepared an explicit speech for your project, and you had analyzed the different types of negotiations that had happened in your past life. You could have added some future plans or strategies on your negotiation that would have definitely added more flavor to your speech. And all the very best for your future speeches. Over to you.
Thank you very much. We now have the tag players giving their report, starting with Toastmaster Prasannavani. You could also, in fact, it doesn't matter. You can give the full time itself, and also tell us who is qualified at the end of it. Thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I have also noted down the time of all the role players. EMOD took 9 minutes 19 seconds. General Evaluator has taken 8 minutes 25 seconds. And TT Master has taken 14 minutes. Coming to the speakers, Toastmaster Adeshe has taken 7 minutes 14 seconds. Toastmaster Shankar, 11 minutes 27 seconds in total. And 8 minutes 40 seconds for the podcast. And 2 minutes 37 seconds for the introduction. Toastmaster Dinakaran has taken 4 minutes 52 seconds. All the 3 speakers are qualified. Coming to the TT speakers, Toastmaster Uday Kumar has taken 45 seconds. Guest Janita 1 minute. Dr. Sandhya 59 seconds, like was 1 minute. And Toastmaster Venkatpalli, 1 minute. Toastmaster Periyasamy, 1 minute 42 seconds. Guest Aravindan, 48 seconds. Guest Mahalakshmi, 1 minute 2 seconds. And guest Mukund, 45 seconds. The qualified TT speakers are guest Janita, Dr. Sandhya, Toastmaster Venkatpalli, Toastmaster Periyasamy, and guest Mahalakshmi. Coming to the evaluators. First evaluator, 3 minutes 23 seconds. Second evaluator, Toastmaster Raghunath Nair, took 3 minutes 30 seconds. And third evaluator, Dr. Pravada, took 2 minutes 15 seconds. Thank you. Over to you, Ji.
Thank you very much. The time that I have at my disposal, I hope to surrender some of it to make up for the loss that we had. Right. Quickly, I was happy that members, we know that the flyers came on time, the agenda came on time. And when I came here, I could see the name board put outside, which is very helpful. 2 more thoughts. Maybe we should mention the hall number so that guests know where to look for. And secondly, we could have a standee downstairs so that this is still a new place for many of us and we have so many guests coming in. Then with Captain Dharan on what they call in charge, we started off on time without any technical issue, except that the podcast could have been tried earlier. We know that as an event. Then include one more suggestion. Please include guests in our list for guests. For example, these 2 gentlemen, they were with us. I don't think they got the intimation. So they would know what to expect when they get the agenda. That's 1 minute. Okay, starting with Tia Modi, compliments for an unusual topic. Not a glamorous topic, but a fundamental topic. And he did that by being very, using his discussion. There's such a lot he could say. Compliments you for that. Then there were no disruptions, except I'm personally sorry that I walked out. It was a disruption because the divisional director had come. I thought he wanted to join or whatever. It looked like he didn't want that, so I'm sorry. I caused that little disruption. Then we have TT. TT, one thing I saw was the wolf was a fantasy, but wolf became a reality thanks to the guts shown by our guest today, Doctor. But overall, you push people into regions of thoughts that they were not used to, which is good. It's a bit of mental calisthenics, and people responded in their own way. So it's a new trend in a way. Visuals help; they perk up. So that is the compliment I have for you there. For the TT speakers, all of you were on course. You real beautifully, you got out of the problem, and you talked about the jungle and the animals. You could have wandered there for till you were shown the red card. So show guts. You're very much there. That's my overall thought for all of you. Evaluations. Evaluations, friends, I consider 3 aspects important in evaluation. One, like I said, is motivate. Second is to say how to correct things. Equally, there is a context not seen to all, visible to all of you, namely the projects. Today, I must compliment all the evaluators for showing us the contours of the project and evaluating these speeches as responses to that project. Some of you were very explicit, like when podcast was talked about, when the 4 types of strategies were talked about. Very well done for that. Second, the other aspect is, yes, we have a lot of projects, and today's all 3 projects were esoteric projects, not the usual speech-making projects. So we got to evaluate what you hear with reference to the project requirement as also as a speech, as was done by Toastmaster Mishra when he talked about the quality of delivery of Toastmaster Adish. So these are variations possible. One cannot set a rule as to how much for each. So overall, I must say this was a very good thing I saw. Medley has a standard in evaluations. I could see glimpses of that. I'm very happy. More than glimpses, okay. Let me not minimize it. That I liked very much. And I'm also very, very happy. The problem with Toastmaster meetings are, after a while, you know what will happen. Today, you got a Googling. So I now surrender my time to the TMOD to see what's going to happen now in the secret session. Over to you, Tibor.
Thanks a lot, General Evaluator, DTM Thomas, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
We are pretty ahead by 10 minutes.
Oh, good.
So really, the table topic session was a little bit short, so it gave some buffer, thanks to Dharan, and we are on time. I like to say only one thing from the safety measure on the road. Let's respect to give way to fire engine and ambulance and all the emergency vehicles who are rushing to save the life and property. We will remember that. We'll teach our children also, and let us maintain the lane discipline on the road. Anything else, sir?
Yes, sir. Apologies for my second interruption from my side. I now belatedly call the accountant for his report. I'm terribly sorry.
It's okay, please.
Toastmaster Atitya Jain, there was no pillar sounds, but overused words are and 5 times, but 3 times, now 4 times. Toastmaster Shankar, overused words are bear 3 times and 3 times. There was no pillar sounds. Toastmaster Dinakar, pillar sounds, yeah, 3 times. Overused words are so 14 times, and then 7 times, and 4 times, again 2 times, to me 4 times, like 2 times, okay 2 times, and the repeated words I 3+ times. Table topic speakers, Toastmaster Uday Kumar, filler sounds are 2 times. Guest Janita, overused words so 5 times, and the filler sounds are 2 times. Guest Sandhya Arun Kumar, overused words so 4 times. Toastmaster Venkatesh Palli, filler sounds are 5 times, 2 times, and the overused words so 2 times. Toastmaster Periyasamy, overused words used to 3 times, during 3 times, what 2 times, and filler sounds are 3 times. Guest Arvindan, filler sounds are 4 times, and the overused words 3 times and 2 times. Guest Magalashmi, filler sounds are 10 times, then 3 times. Guest Mukunda Krishnan, filler sounds are 2 times and pass 2 times. Under the evaluation sessions, Raghunath Misra, pass 1 times and 3 times. When 3 times, the 2 times, and the filler sounds are 4 times. Toastmaster Raghunath Nair, ha 4 times, and the repeated and the overused words and 4 times, the 4 times, because 3 times. And last, Madam Pravada, filler sounds are 4 times, overused words and 3 times, so 3 times. Thank you, and over to the General Evaluator.
Thank you, Accounter Toastmaster Mohana Sundaram.
Thank you very much, sir. I have one more report to come, and I must compliment the accountant for demonstrating the listening value, the skill that you learn when you do the role. Very well done. Last of our tag players, may I request Toastmaster Prasanna to give his grammarians report.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Now I list down some of the words and phrases I liked during the speech. Toastmaster of the day used the word inculcate. And for the prepared speech, Toastmaster Akshay used super crucial, delicately. Toastmaster Shankar used my cup of cake multiplicity. And Toastmaster Dinakaran used the phrase part and parcel. And for the table topics, just Sandhya Arun Kumar used amazed, admiring. and guest Aravindan used a sigh of relief. And for the evaluation part, Toastmaster Raghunath Nair used exemplary, and Toastmaster Pravda used quoted, add some flavor to the speech. These are all I like during the speech. And there are only few suggestions, grammatical suggestions during the speech. Many reasons where I chose was used. It should be many reasons why I chose. And the phrase win and lose was used. It should be win or lose situation. And one of the best way is used. It should be one of the best ways. It's a plural one. And word of the day report. I'm glad that one person benevolently used the word of the day. It's our general evaluator, DTM Thomas. So this is my report. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Over to the TMOD.
Thank you, General Evaluator. It was a benevolent session. I enjoyed from the beginning. We have completed the speech session, table topic session, evaluation session also. As per the agenda, the next is secret session. I'm interested. I'm very much anxious to know that. Over to you, Presiding Officer, Toastmaster Saravanan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Are you ready for the secret session? Excellent. As I mentioned in the very beginning, just look around. Okay, whether you are in IITM or Research Path or in Zoom, just look around. The person sitting next to you or next to your frame in the Zoom might hold a secret. And that is for you to answer that. Okay. So, how we are known to this world, it's in the form of our name or our profession. So these are all very important for networking. So if you want to be good in networking, just remember the other person's name, because that is music to their ears, and know about their profession. That is also really good. This is a combination of name game plus whatever you have listened so far, as well as what is the introduction all about. Some of the introductions you might have heard, some of the speeches you might have noticed. These are all part of this secret name game. Let us enter into this. Okay. The first one, just remember the name. This person's name is music to the ears. Who is that?
Sir, Prasannavani, I introduced her.
Okay, good. Yeah, that is also nice. But you can stay there, sir.
Yes, sir.
The answer is Prasannavani, that's fine. But your name is also one of the answers.
What is the question?
Answer to the question, yes. Do you know how? No. Your name is music to the ears because you have a Raham.
Lost.
Thomas Abraham. Abraham, there is a Raham to your name.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's music to their ears because they know Tamil, not for me.
Okay, because Raham, Dhanam, Pallavam, all are music to the ears. So you have got the answer, but you are the answer.
Oh my God. You made my day. Thank you very much. I don't need a
Okay. Excellent. Fine. So the next one, it's a bit difficult. Let us see who is going to find that out. This person's name has Ramayana's antagonist in his name. I have inadvertently named that his name. So you have got a clue also. Got it?
Raghu. Raghu.
Raghu. Antagonist. Ramayana antagonist.
It's you, Saravanan.
Yeah. Very good. Adishay, you got it. Because my name, why? Yeah, anybody else?
Ravan in your name.
Correct. Yeah, my name has Raman inside that. So, okay, fine. So let us see this. Whose name has got the hero, Ramayana hero? Protagonist.
Please rewind my answer.
Yeah, please.
Rewind my answer, please.
Thomas Abraham, Sir Thomas Abraham, Abraham Brown.
Two Raghus are here.
Actually, I mean, you are saying, but you are the answer, sir. Yeah, your full name. What is the full name? Sundaresan Subramanian.
Yes.
Rama.
Okay.
Mohana Sundaram.
Yeah, Mohana Sundaram. Yeah, right. So this is just got the drift of this, right? Now you look around. I mean, there are so many names around that, and you will get that answer. Okay, and this person's name has a clue. Guess don't worry about this, okay? Because these are some of the Toastmasters name. But for guests, you are also like, I mean, there are some clues out there, so you can also be listening to this. Okay, so you also get some secrets related to that. Okay, this person's name has the famous yoga center or foundation in Coimbatore. Very good. Welcome. Yeah, Isha Yoga. Yeah, very good. Right. Found. Now I go to the guests so that they don't get lost in this. Okay, fine. So guests, you all remembered the speeches and all today, right? And whatever TMOD has mentioned about. So just one clue. He mentioned about the TMOD mentioned about fire blanket. What is that? Anybody? Any guess? Okay, I don't hear anything. So let me ask this question. NDRF. What is the full form for NDRF?
National Disaster Relief Force.
Yeah, you're almost correct, but I would have heard from you if it were 1 2 years back. This is specifically for guests.
Oh, sorry.
National Disaster Response Force, I think it is.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, okay.
Got it. Fine, but you can stay there. Just one question. Yeah, as you have come all the way through there, I mean, you can stay there and answer this question. Toastmaster the day mentioned several helplines. Do you remember any of the helplines? One helpline?
Yeah, police, ambulance, police 400, ambulance maybe for 101.
Very good. This is for you. Okay. So, Toastmaster the day mentioned one of the mottos, Chennai traffic motto.
103, it's
103 is child helpline, but the motto he mentioned about Chennai traffic motto. Do you remember that?
1098.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So this is a motto. Your safety is our priority. That is the motto. Okay. Okay. So guest Arvind is coming here. Okay. So you want some question? Okay. Let me put you a different question altogether. Toastmaster Atishay, in his speech, he mentioned he got computer science engineering admission from one of the university. Do you know the name of the university or the location of the university?
I know both. Fortunately, it is an easy one. It's a Shiv Nadar University in Delhi.
Very good. Nice. Fine. So now let us go to the word game. Okay, name game. This person is located in a location which is a historical ancient 6th century Pallava dynasty town. This was built by Mahendra Varman. Very difficult, very, very difficult. Anybody can attempt that? Yeah, please.
Toastmaster.
Toastmaster?
Raghunath Nair.
Raghunath Nair, do you believe?
Mahabalipuram.
Unfortunately, it is not Toastmaster Raghunath Nair. But one word is correct. Toastmaster is correct, but which Toastmaster?
Orissa, Raghunath Mishra.
No. Pallava dynasty town, which was built by Mahendra Varman. It is located in Tamil Nadu. And that person is in Zoom, but not physically located in Chennai.
Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram.
Who is that?
Myself, Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram.
You are the answer, man.
Yes.
Yeah. So he is located in a place called as Mahendravadi, which was built by Mahendra Varman in 6th century Pallava dynasty. Thank you, Toastmaster Mohan Sundaram. He is the answer.
Thanks.
Fine. So this is about a profession. Okay. This person is a doctor. That's a very easy clue, but this person is a doctor, but pursuing a doctorate also. Who is this person?
Pravda, dentist. Madam Toastmaster Pravda, who is a dentist.
Very good. All the best, Dr. Pravda, for your doctorate as well. Fine. One of the members. How many of you see Hindi movies? Good. So, do you know any movie that had both Shah Rukh Khan as well as Salman Khan acting in the same movie? Okay, if you know the answer, you can find out this Toastmaster's name also.
कुछ कुछ होता है.
कुछ कुछ होता है. I know only one movie where they both acted. Okay. Okay, then that is another movie. Yeah.
It Andaz Apna Apna or something like that.
No. Okay, fine. So there are two names into that. Okay. The first name, if I tell, it is as good as I'm telling the Toastmaster's name itself. Okay. So I tell the second name, Arjun.
It's Karan.
Very good. So who is the Toastmaster?
Karan Arjun.
Karan Arjun is correct.
Karan.
Yeah.
Dinakaran.
Dinakaran. Okay, very good. So now we go on to the profession. Okay. Okay. So this person is the founder of a multidisciplinary sports fitness studio.
Aaron.
Yeah, very good. Right. Good. And I'm just repeating the names, but the question is not repeated. Okay. How many of you know the game Truth or Dare? Okay. So if you give this to this particular Toastmaster, this person will always go for dare. It's a literal meaning in the name. Okay, so you can just look around in Zoom or look around in the room, you will get the clue. TMOD, any clue?
Raj? No.
You are the clue.
Oh. I think I haven't done homework today. Other than that,
No, just look at your Zoom this one, so you can understand. So everybody look at TMOD's Zoom name and tell me why I'm saying that.
Dad is there in his name.
Very good. Who is that?
Sundari.
Sundari.
Yeah. Janita. Yeah, guess Janita. That's correct. Dad is there in the name. Yeah. Okay, fine. So yeah, now you get the gist of this, and this is the end of this session as well. But I hope you enjoyed this. You get a gist. You get to know about who are all the people and how you can come up with this name game. Okay. So this is the first time I'm coming up with this, and And thanks for this opportunity as well. Okay, over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. Such an interesting secret session. Really, my name is having dare. I myself don't know that one. Several times I have run away from table topics the first 10 years. Later only I was courage enough to face the table topics. Thank you, Sharvanan, for motivating all of us for a different scenario. And now as per the agenda, let's call for the vote. Our Toastmaster Dharan has already sent the link in chat. Please fill it up and reply. Hope you all have done. If you have done, shall we move ahead? Dharan, please confirm in the hall. Have they all replied? The link which you have sent?
So we got 14 responses.
14, the head count says 15. Okay, here, plus the hall. Okay, if present says okay, I can.
Yeah, 100% response.
That's great. With this Toastmaster of the day, signing off, please remember safety, safety, safety. Over to you, Presiding Officer Sharvana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sundaresan. Please give a big round of applause for Toastmaster Sundaresan. This is a really unique Toastmaster session, I would say, because all the safety tips that you have provided, that is very useful for everybody, and all the helpline numbers, as well as all the tips you provided, that will definitely help us. And I also would like to appreciate the effort of Toastmaster Dharan for coming up with relevant topics, okay, because these are all very important. And I remember one of the topics about swimming in the tide, right? So in the river. And Toastmaster Perisami clearly mentioned this should be one of the key aspects that we have to know about swimming. So this, not every Toastmaster table topics will come up with some moral, right? I mean, I see that is a moral. Swimming is one of the things that everybody have to know, because that will help us in times of need. And the sessions also was very interesting, I would say. 3 speeches, a podcast session and relevant TT session also all went well. And thanks for all the role players as well as the XCOM, and who have done a very good job on that. I also would like to take this opportunity to recognize the Toastmasters who came in early. Toastmaster Venkatpalli, Prasannavani, Dharan, Pravda, all who have helped as well as collaborated to help the Zoom as well as room setup and integration. So let us hear the feedback from the guest, from the room first. Can we hear some feedback from the guest?
So
this is Suma.
Complete learning platform what I'm seeing here, and every minute is invested in learning. So a complete productive use of time is being done. Very interesting, because there are different agendas. So I found it very interesting, and in fact I have made notes of whatever I have learned today. So thank you so much for making it very interesting.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, this is Uma.
Yeah, Uma.
Yeah, actually today I'm eagerly waiting for the table session, but I'm not called upon for that. In the upcoming section, maybe I will be invited for that.
Definitely. Actually, I mean, that is one of the tactics we use, okay, so that we can make you come often, okay. So that is, okay, please come often, and next week also come, so that, I mean, you will get your chance.
Yeah, thank you, Chef.
Okay, yeah, please.
Hello, sir. Thank you for inviting us. And I am Amit, as I previously told. And it was a benevolent session. And I thought like it is a quarterly learning session, and it will boost our confidence and our learning experience in a much better way. Thank you for hosting Toastmaster.
Thank you for your feedback.
I'm Aditya. I found the session very helpful, and I really enjoyed it. And I also thought the table topics were interesting. So I hope to take part next session. Thank you.
Definitely. We look forward for your presence as well. Then Janita.
Yes, Arun. So I really enjoyed the secret session which conducted by you. So I just came to know a lot of people names as well as their profession. So even like I could this Pravda, she's working as a dentist. Then that only I just came to know today only. So it's really interesting, and specifically all the speakers, they just pull it amazingly. Also the table topic session, the picturization and all, it's really amazing to understand what exactly the situation is. It's quite it's another interesting session today.
Definitely. Thank you, Janita, for your feedback. And this is
Yep.
your how many times you have attended?
So almost like a 4 times. So
Okay.
I just contacted Venkatesh on this to become a member. He said like probably the 1st of August I can be, I guess.
Definitely. We look forward for you to join as a member as well.
Yes, Saran. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for inviting me to this session. It was another great learning experience for me, and more importantly, it tapped like some parts of my brain which has never been tapped. So thank you for that, and hopefully in the upcoming session I'll keep on improving, and I'll be a more confident speaker. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you for joining, and we look forward for seeing you more often. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, fine. So this is now time for us to see who the best performers for today are. The best speaker goes to Toastmaster Atishay. Toastmaster Atishay, we have to see you often. Please come often and provide us with all those enthralling speeches. The best table topic goes to guest Dr. Sandhya Arunkumar. Very well done. Please come often. The best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Raghunath Nair. The best role player, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sundaresan. Best tag role player, timer, Toastmaster Prasannavani. All the very best. And with this, we have come to the end of the meeting. And with the sound of this gavel, I declare the meeting 687 closed. And I open the chat session for informal as well as intellectual dialogues. Thank you.
Guys, please.